everyone, and welcome back to the box with me, Rich Perry. I'm sorry there was no video yesterday, but I was feeling very ill, and I'm still feeling pretty shit, which is why I'm not in work today. I don't want to talk too much or too loud because it makes my head ache more than it does. I've got a bit of orange here that's laced with paracetamol so that I'm hydrated and it beats back the ache that's been pounding the back of my head for the past day, and all my muscles ache, and it's not been good, not been fun. At least my nose has stopped running, that's a plus. But yeah, so today is just an opinion piece, and it's based on something that Reggie fils-aime said in an interview with Gamer Sutra. I think it was yesterday, I'm not sure when the interview took place. But basically, he said, one of the things that, on one hand, I love, and on the other hand, that troubles me tremendously about not only our fan base, but about the gaming community at large, is that whenever you share information, the perspective is, thank you, but I want more. Thank you, but give me more. I mean, it is insatiable. For years, this community has been asking, where's Pikmin? Where's Pikmin? Where's Pikmin? We give them Pikmin, and then they say, what else? Right, well, I've written quite a few notes today. I'll be putting them up on the Absurdisan website beneath this video if you want to have a read of them after you've watched this, so I'll be reading from those as I go through, but on first glance, it seems like Reggie's saying that all gamers were all whiners with an undeserved sense of entitlement. IGN has talked about how this is a response to a mild reception of Nintendo at E3 this year, but I'm more interested in asking why Reggie feels this way, and if it's right that he should do so. Is it right that gamers are insatiable? There are those who agree that our generation has a sense of entitlement that makes us insufferable, needy children who complain about everything. I happen to think this is the case sometimes. Some things are stupidly... some people are stupidly expectant about everything, But anyway, we can't confuse this with being rightly annoyed when our expectations aren't fulfilled. Everyone has a right to be pissed off when a service that they have put money down for is not up to scratch. I'll use the example of a car rental plan. Say you go on holiday and you want to rent a car. You rent this car based on the specs it has, like it's got this many seats, it's got cup holders, aircon if you're in a hot country, and it's for this amount of time for this much. You're offered this car for that amount of time at that price with those features, and you expect it to be in good condition. If one or several of those features is missing or broken, then we absolutely have the right to complain about it, as our expectations provided by the rental company and being paid for by us are not being fulfilled. So that's pretty self-explanatory. You're paying for something that's not being fulfilled. Games consoles are slightly different. There is no contractual obligation involved from either party, aside from handing over some money to your game store or online for a console as it's described on the box. Of course, if it's broken or doesn't have the specified RAM size or whatever, then absolutely, same as the car rental, you can play, change it, whatever. But we don't solely buy a games console based on the tech specs alone. We buy a console based on the games it will play. So imagine at E3 next year, Microsoft announces the Xbox 720 or whatever they're going to call it. They show off fancy pictures of the console, they reel off all the tech specs in great detail, they might even show a CG scene that runs on the 720. But this scene is not based on any game that is or ever will be released. In fact, they say nothing about any games of any kind that will play on the 720 at any subsequent conventions right up to release. They don't show any of the other functionality like web browsing or Netflix or anything it can do. They just have the console, the tech specs. Would anyone buy this console? I mean, undoubtedly, there'd be some who'd snatch it up as an offering from the gods. There's fanboys everywhere. But the more discerning of us would be left wholly unimpressed by the lack of evidence that this console plays games that we want, or does anything that we want it to do. I mean, of course, you can infer that it has a modem it can connect to the internet, but what can it do with the internet? Just, for example, playing devil's advocate. The machine could be a technological marvel of the modern gaming age, but without any evidence of games to play on it or any functionality that we want, no one with any concern for their hard-earned money is going to drop the hundreds of pounds that Microsoft are asking for it. Yeah, would you? I mean, I wouldn't, because I'd buy a games console based on what it's going to play. Does it have any good exclusives? Is it better than something else at playing certain games? Anything. But go back and look at previous console releases like the N64, the PS2, the Wii, the 360, the PS3. All of these showcased fantastic games being played on their systems with crazy functionality. People got excited because of this, and people wanted the consoles because they would play those games, and they had that functionality. So far, the Wii U launch seems troubled because of the lack of core games being played on it. That's not to say there have been none, but at the biggest gaming expo in the world, E3, they mainly showcased casual games, which failed to get anyone excited, especially the core demographic that's going to be pushing this console. They're going to be wanting this console to play awesome games, and they're going to be advising their friends, don't get this, it's a terrible gaming machine, or get this, it's a wonderful piece of tech that plays awesome games. I didn't want to go into that, but I thought I'd explain just a bit of that about the Wii U launch. But essentially, when you buy a games console, you're entering into an unwritten, unspoken agreement. You're essentially saying, okay, here's my several £100 for this console, on the promise that there will be games and or functionality that I shall enjoy for this console, for which I shall probably pay money for in the future for functionality, and definitely will be for games. Nintendo and Reggie seem to be expecting us to enter into this agreement without the assurance of the second half of that. We've not had any big exposure for huge core titles from Nintendo, and people are worried it's going to be another casual console like the Wii without any decent games, especially at launch. Also, this is in thanks to no part to the shambolic announcement at last year's E3. People didn't know if it was a separate console, if it was an add-on for the Wii, but anyway. I don't think that with games consoles and the companies who manufacture their main games for them, I don't think it's too much to expect decent games for a console before forking over your money for it. Nintendo need to get their arse in gear with some decent games with big announcements at big events. People are smarter at buying games these days. We are no longer just sitting at the feet of the games companies waiting for every tasty morsel that drops to us. We can look online for things, we can find out this information, and we are a lot more discerning about what we're going to pay for, and rightly so. But going back to Reggie's statement that we're insatiable, that's completely wrong. We can be satiated, because when a console boasts a fantastic game support and all the functionality we want before launch, we've bought it in droves. Either in the PS3 with its, I can't remember what it retailed for at release, it was huge, but even with that, at that price, people bought it because the release was good. There were games for it, and it was a technological powerhouse. Those were the selling points. But what do you guys think? Do you think we're all just expecting too much from game companies? Do you think that we are just whining about anything in particular? Or do you think Reggie's acting out of spite for a mild E3 reception? Do you think Nintendo need to get more out there about the Wii U, leave comments below. Go and have a read of this article. I'm putting up all the notes I've used on the Absurdisan website. Links are in the description below. And let me know what you think, because I'm interested. This is just a big opinion piece, and that's what I think. I don't think we're expecting too much. And the Wii U release it's on the fence at the moment. It could go either way, but it's looking fairly disappointing so far. It's just me. So sound off in the comments. Let me know what you think. Hopefully I'll be slightly better tomorrow. I'm going to chug some of this now. And yeah, I will see you guys hopefully tomorrow. Alright, have a good day.